Welcome back to Life and Style Monday edition, that is Inspiration Monday. We're all about enlightening, empowering, and making you the very best version of yourself that you could ever be. And when you see me, that means it's time for the Everyday Woman. And today, it's very interesting because I should be on the panel, but I'm on the other side. So I have amazing women who are in media or have been in media, and today we're just going to talk about the whole experience, finding yourself in that space. And most people probably think this space is sort of privileged, so we will just demystify all of that and feel, is it privilege or it's just too much pressure? Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank
you.
you.
All so lovely, from white to luminous, God knows what, to pink. And my queen is just fabulous.
Yeah, Queen is it.
Queen is it. We are at the pop-up market. Have you guys been here before?
I haven't actually.
You haven't?
No, but it's really, really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a totally different place from the
Actually,
mall.
I entered and you forget you're in Kenya.
Yeah.
It has this Europe kind of
Yes,
feel.
it does.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
super.
Karibuni sana,
Thank
mtasema
you.
mlikuja hapa kwa ajili yangu na nitachukua fungu la 10 baadaye. Anyway, let's introduce ourselves. I'll show people your household names, and I love that. But still, that is your camera.
That's the camera right
Yeah,
there, right
that's
there.
the one. That's the one. That's
It's
the
so
one.
nice to not have the producer giving me pressure. I will be asked, what did you say?
I will do that for all of you. Yeah. So
yeah, this is a no pressure time.
No.
Excellent. When we say Muturi, I'm a media personality, but more than that, I'm a training consultant. So I'm passionate about training and just seeing people transform through spaces of leadership, strategy, culture, and soft skills.
Absolutely.
And I'm a mother of 2.
Yeah, and a wife to 1.
And a wife to a fantastic man. Yeah, I have to demystify that one. Eh?
Yes,
Make
absolutely.
it clear.
True,
Yes,
true.
so that's
How
it.
many years have you been in the media? I think for everyone, brother, I think it will just cut across.
I think on screen 4 years, off screen about 6, 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, great stuff.
Naam, karibu tena kwenye sehemu ya mahojiano. Swala nzima kuhusiana na sakata mbalimbali za ufisadi. Hakuna chochote ambacho hufanyika. Tume ya kupambana na ufisadi haina meno.
Annie.
Yes, my name is Ann Ngugi, and I've been a journalist for almost going to 17 years.
She's mama yao.
Yani, bow down. It's like,
Oh my God, you make me feel so old.
No, you're ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, I thank God. So I've been a journalist for that long. I've even worked at KTN, shortly at K24, and right now I'm working with the BBC, and it's great. It feels really great.
I just like that. You
Yes.
know, I worked with KTN.
I know.
Kidogo
That-
Kidogo.
casually.
And then BBC. Please, my friend, please note.
Yes, please note that. Very important. It's
Great
steps of
stuff.
a winner. But I thank God.
Yes, we
Yes,
do.
yes.
Lovely.
Yes.
It's a good turnout at Cairo's Al Ali Arena, and the ball is fired into Naja, who kisses it off the glass. The finest professional basketball team
It was the best.
all over the world. I wasn't that bad. It's basketball in Juba.
Silale.
I'm Silale Shani. I'm different in that now I've worked in the sports side of media. I've hosted a basketball TV magazine show in Zuku for 2 years, and then on Kwese for 3 years. So I'm bringing a bit of a spanner in the mix here.
Yeah, that's good.
Bringing a bit of experience from the sports side, which is usually a male-dominated field. But it's really been a great time being a part of that industry.
Quick one. Did you ever play sports? How did you get into that?
I did play sports.
Okay,
I've
good.
played basketball for a really long time.
And
I
she
was
was
actually,
okay.
Yeah, she makes it. She makes it. La pizza.
someone asked me if I was a model. I was like, no. But so I
Great.
have played basketball for a really long time. I was actually captain of the national team for 3 years here in
Oh,
Kenya.
wow.
Yeah.
So what was her name? Bilha, what was the name of the lady we interviewed? Cynthia Mumbo.
Very good friend of mine.
And the
Cynthia Mumbo's
CEO rugby as well was a basketballer.
Sylvia. She
Yes,
was
Sylvia.
actually a coach for one of the national team assignments I went on. So I know them both really, really well.
Great.
Yeah.
I feel so good
I
about
know, you know
myself
people-
right now. Of course. You mnajua how akina nani, nani
Tujui,
sports world.
nakwambia.
And just to, so that's the sport world. What
Speciality.
yes.
Yes, well, I've been in Swahili. I've been a journalist, but Swahili is the language that I've since I began until today. Although I work as a broadcast journalist at BBC, I report to BBC Swahili. I'm a multimedia journalist, but I report. So if you listen to maybe a program called Dira ya Dunia, I don't know if you know about it, on radio, I'm there. Monday to Friday.
You know what? I actually when we were talking, I'm like, oh, you speak English. I know you speak English. I know that.
I know.
But we're just
really? Like Swahili journalists.
Do something in Swahili.
Oh, like Swahili, we get that a lot. Swahili journalists, like, you actually speak English.
And we know you
so it's like, okay, are we supposed to be just Swahili hivi? Yeah.
So and Faith, yours was
yes. Mine was different. I think mine was juggling 2 careers. So I've done training consultants for about 13 years, but I've known more for TV, which I think I did on screen 4 years. So I was at NTV. I was doing a gospel show on Sunday. So my Monday to Friday or Saturday was training.
What is that? What? I know we'll get to the show.
Yeah. Okay. What is the
training?
Training consultancy. What I do, I lead a team called Delft Training Limited, and what we do is that we speak to individuals, organizations, and teams to help them thrive. So we're very passionate about culture. Whatever you do, everything is culture. How's your organization culture? So we come and we do a training. We have an amazing process. We do a needs analysis, get to know you, 360, get to know you, get to know your clients or your stakeholders, what's working, what's not working, then we develop programs for training. I think even if you've been in media, ultimately, I even find people who leave media, they're still in a communication something. Absolutely. But for me, it's to be in spaces of transformation. So I love that the show I used to do on Sunday. I remember my very first show was on forgiveness. And actually, was it a show, the audition? Okay, it was an audition show. So I just brought in my training things. I brought a video, we did a clip, I did an exercise, told guys at home do this exercise, blah, blah, blah. It was just fun. But then I got responses from people. Guys are writing and saying, guess what, I hadn't talked to my brother for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
He was watching the show, I was watching the show. We are meeting now to talk.
Wow.
I hadn't talked to my dad for so many years, I've just texted him. So when it says, I'm just from watching the show, I have to enter a bat, and I'm in a bat, and I'm crying. And I was like, I didn't know there can be so much impact. And so it was an audition show. Before I didn't want it, but after that show, the feedback was like, oh my goodness. So I think it's been different spaces of communication. But for me, it's, as long as there's transformation one way or another, then for me it's a win.
Great. So the show. It's Everyday Woman and women in media. There are a lot of things that come with that. They're unique experiences for each and every one of us, and I don't know what those things are, but I will get to me maybe sometime later, but I would like to hear from you guys, unique experiences as a woman. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, it could be one of those, oh, okay, I did not expect this when I was getting into the media, and especially, I don't know, sport journalists, women,
I know.
I think they're very, very few. And considering the time that you got in, I think there were even fewer. So how was that experience for you as a woman in media and doing sports in particular?
Right. I mean, you know, I can't actually give you a sob story. I've actually been received really well, especially in the area of expertise that I was doing, which is basketball. But what I did notice is that people would almost assume because you're a pretty face, you don't have the knowledge to back that up. So we're like, okay, yeah, she looks good on camera and everything, but does she really know her stuff? So when I go out there and I'm talking about technical terms and things that even my male counterparts don't even understand, people are like, okay. 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 So I think I've dealt with that a lot in my particular industry, but I have to say that people have been really receptive and have been really kind. I've not experienced a lot of prejudice. I've not experienced hostility from my counterparts, like, why is she coming into this space? I think in this day and age, women, we still have a long way to go, but you can see that people are more receptive to seeing women in non-traditional positions. So I would say that has been my experience so far.
Beautiful. There are things we're not told when you're getting into the industry, and if you just bumped into it, I did. So you don't get like a training of, so when you get in, this is what will happen and this is how you will react. And I don't know some of the things that you had to go through after you got in, you're like, oh wow, now I can't just walk around without my wig, or you know, so I probably need to wear shades because now maybe somebody loved me for a certain story or they didn't like me for a certain story. But how did you deal with that as a woman? And here you are, very vocal and on our faces every day.
So yeah, of course, there are so many things that you're not going to be told, or maybe the women or the men who are supposed to tell you, they are also busy in the media doing their own stuff. But I guess something that maybe somebody would have told me was that, yes, you're going to go into the media and you're going to get a lot of attention. And I think this attention is what is really bothering a lot of, especially women journalists, because sometimes this attention gets into our head. And when this attention gets into our head, sometimes, not all people, either you become very sensitive towards people, because you'll walk into a supermarket, or right now here we are, and there's so many people who are going to say, hi Anne, hi Anne, hi Anne, and sometimes you can't handle it, you understand? So this particular attention is what, okay, well, because I've done it so many years, it's normal for me. Like if somebody stops me and tells me, hi Anne, do you mind, I will. But there are other young women, right? They're called by people and they're told, hi, so and so. They're like, I don't know what's wrong with these people. You know, wananisumbua. I don't know what's wrong with them. You see, so maybe some of these things, it's maybe good to be told that when you go into the media, be sensitive also about your audience. Because these people, when they go out there, they'll be saying, unaona huyu ana maringo sana, and yet it's because somebody called you out kwa supermarket and you were unable, or maybe you felt like, I'm on my personal space. Remember, when you are out there on TV, you become a public product. And the other thing is about, it's good maybe when people tell you, to prepare you and tell you that you'll be judged a lot. I'll give you an example. If you're in a media and you have a scandal, because I mean, we are human beings, we will find ourselves sometimes in a lot of deep problems. But as opposed to a woman who is out there, who is not known, and a woman who is on TV,
there will be more tougher
there'll be,
on you.
like, how could she do that? For instance, when it comes to relationships, because our weakest point is that we want to bring our relationship into the social media, so people know. So if something happens in that relationship, people know. But then how a woman in the media will be judged to a woman who is not in the media, it's totally different. And that's something that we ought to be told, or us women now who've been there longer, we need to mentor the young upcoming journalists and tell them, look here, you'll be judged. So much, there'll be so much expectation from the public, but always be yourself.
Absolutely.
Always be yourself.
I like that you bring that out, because this directly falls on you, Faith. You are very open with your family and your husband, your children. But then that also comes the responsibility on you to protect them. And I don't know how you do that, because I will tell you for sure, they do not know anything. They do not. Anything about me, I do not think they do, because I have never. And I think sometimes what we give the media is what they will use. What we put out there is what they will use against us, or gives them the motivation to just go digging. Unless you're Faith and you know for sure, niko sawa huko kwenye nimetoka. But then how do you do that?
Okay, I think what she's saying is true, because as a woman you become very vulnerable. I think part of the vulnerability is because you're easily a trophy. And that's why, in as much as women have scandals, at times women in the media can have a few more. You know what I mean? To be honest, and simply because you're such target, you're this prize. So for me, it's been a journey of being authentic. It's that for me, it's just me being me, and I don't feel. And if things go wrong, I'm working at them not to go wrong. But that's part of being authentic. Does that make sense? Like, okay, one of our pastor's daughter, so maybe I got used to being out there. You're like, I'm supposed to sing a song, you know, so maybe there's that, but I think there's a beauty in sharing good, bad, scars as well. And if you look at leaders, like Obama, you know his family, he doesn't hide it. And the other presidents, we didn't know as much. And maybe that's out there. But generally, there are people who, the more authentic you are, I think there's a way you connect with people. But then, are we authentic enough that when the good happens, when the bad happens? I remember before I got married, I was very public about my stand in terms of my values, you know. And that was a bit scary, you know, because I was saying these are my values, and guys are like, because they do a Christian show, pregnant too, and that was tough. What if I fall? What if? But this is what I believe. And if I fall, I hope I'll rise. And if I say this is my value and I believe in this, and I won't compromise, what if I fall? Then I hope I'll stand up dust myself, right, after crying and say,
Yeah.
I still believe. And this is what I want to live.
Authenticity
So
is key.
but I think it's a very personal decision. It's a personal decision of, are you comfortable with that and what does it entail? But at times, even if you try to keep it private, at times there's only so much it will be private. So I think it's a world, and I hear what you're saying, it's a world to be prepared, not just in terms of career, but in terms of values. In terms of what do I really believe. So that if my private life, because your face is now out, then if your life is brought out, even if you didn't want, because at times when scandals happen, if it's big enough, then we'll find out. You know what I mean? Like, we may not know if you're dating, but drama. Then the whole, which is very sad. So and I love that you're talking about mentoring younger women. So my hope is that women are mentored more in terms of values, and values are irrespective. It doesn't matter your past, it doesn't matter your struggle. I love how Obama was honest enough to say, you know what, I'm struggling with smoking. You know what, and it's something he's working on. It's not celebrated, but it's authentic that this is who I am. So as she says, we are real, we are people. So I think if we are grounded in terms of values, and another thing is being ready, one, for the attention. I remember, because still till now I forget. Someone's like, where have we met? I'm like, yeah, where have we met? I try. As we are thinking, it hits me. Maybe it's TV. But then I can't say, I know where you saw me. So I forget. Or entering a mall, and then you want to enter a shop, people scream. I'd run out. Then I'm like, why have they screamed? Then I'm like, I'm not supposed. I'm like, are they still because of that? So that attention can get into your head. But remember, you're on TV today. Tomorrow you're not there.
Somebody else is
very
there.
few people are in media for a long time. So you have to be beyond the screen and all that.
I like that you bring that out, and this will just go back to Anne a bit. Look at my eyes. So we were doing a show together called what is it called? Ultimate Challenge.
Yes.
So it's a weight loss program, and we were there working hard. So she wasn't a contestant, but she was. We had unique celebrities in every team. So the celebrities are competing against themselves, and then me as a host, I don't know, I was competing against you, but I was just there all over doing the whole thing. And then producers would compete because every team had a producer. And once in a while, because we ended up in the same team, we'd have time to talk. And at that time, Anne wasn't in the media at all. So even her appearing on the show was like, oh, Anne Bado Yuko, you know. And Anne told me one thing, it's like, Mikali, you know, you're in one day, you're out, and people forget.
People forget.
And she told me one thing. Do you see the money you're making right now? Because people assume it's a lot. Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. But then she told me, you know this money you're getting? Imagine, think about the future. I know, just hearing it from Anna, like, there's so many stereotypes when we come to our job. And the one I read every time, it doesn't help that I'm 31 and probably not dating, and I don't have a kid, and it's like, we're not our media. I'm like, so who said?
That's very
And I'm happy that please. Anyway, enough of that.
I know, then they're like, you, and then you're everywhere. Why aren't you?
And I'm like, so, and then when you see in the media, they're like, ndio maana.
You know why now.
You know.
But you know, something that we've said, I'm shocked that you remember things that we spoke about like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, and at that time I was going through a very rough time because I was sacked. I was actually sacked from a media job. I was, you know, that tells you that unaambiwa hii face yako haitakikani kwa TV anymore. But at that time, why I wanted something that will keep me busy. You understand? And that conversation, I now remember it, and it's true. Sometimes you can be on the screen and the next moment you're not there. And so imagine if it starts getting into your head that I am the Anne Ngugi, you understand, and life revolves around me, and then all of a sudden perhaps you get sick, you can't be on telly, or maybe you're sacked. What will happen? So these are things that I can also say now to women in the media and outside, that things happen, and life, in a span of a moment, life can really change. You are no longer on TV, and maybe the person who you are looking down and thinking huyu hawezi kunishinda, she becomes the one who sits on the seat that you are sitting on in the evening. But these are things to appreciate. And perhaps to be more real is to say that it's good to be pretty, it's good to be a celebrity, it's good to have those Instagram likes and whatever that women are doing. But it's also good to remember that at the end of the day, life moves on.
Absolutely.
The wheel is moving on.
Yeah.
Others are being born.
Yeah.
They'll be more beautiful and
Yeah.
maybe more better than you. So ni kujipanga. Whatever money that you get, whatever opportunity, because of course, us in the media, every door that you knock will be opened. Any office, government office you want to go, in the bank, everywhere, people respect you. But after that, people will be like, ulienda wapi? Because I got that a lot.
Yeah.
You understand? So you have to be grounded, just as she said, you have to be very authentic.
Yeah.
That even when things turn around and you can't be able to move in the vehicle or maybe live in the same estate, you are going still to remain you. And you're not going to hide and say that because job iliisha, you can't walk outside or you can't, like, after I lost my job for a while, I used to go into a matatu. You understand?
Yeah.
But I used to hear people,
haiwezi kuwa yeye, itakuwa yeye aje.
Alisota, but you get used to it, you know, and it's life, yes.
And that is
Yes.
being true to yourself
Yes,
again.
yes.
And maybe I'll just throw this to Silele. You are a ma'am, right? How do you find the balance between all of that? And it sort of like borders to the same thing, and also maintaining that this fame does not get into my head, that I do not become consumed by the power that people give me by celebrating what it is that I do.
Right. I mean, you have to ask yourself, where do I put my self-worth?
Yeah.
You know, is my self-worth my popularity? People recognizing me being on TV and having a voice of authority? Or is my self-worth being a good person, a good mom? And it's like you're saying, and it has to go beyond who you are on screen, right? You have a position of authority, you have a position of influence, and usually I talk to young basketball players and athletes in general about this. I tell them, use your position as a platform. You're not going to play basketball forever, you're not going to be a superstar forever, but when you're at that position, impact lives. I always think the most powerful legacy you can leave is how you make someone feel, how you raise your kids, the values that you teach them. Like I remember I was telling Susan from Toto Touch that for me, if my daughter, when she grows up, says my mom is the best mom ever, and nothing else matters, by the way. I don't care what anyone else thinks. If she thinks that I raised her well and that she's happy, then that's what matters to me. So in the same lens now with the media, you have to tell yourself, these are things that will pass, you know? But what are you doing while you're still up there, while you still have the money? Are you investing in this foundation? Are you talking to these girls? Are you mentoring? Those are the things that will now have a lasting value, so that when they do find you in a matatu, they're not saying, oh my goodness, they're like, oh my goodness, she helped my daughter do this. She helped this person go to school. Those are the things I think that really last. So I think what I would advise people in media, what I want people to understand is that we're humans at the end of the day, but you can't let your media presence and your popularity make you who you are. Because like you guys said, people will forget. People will move on.
Oh, they move on.
Yeah. So really do the things that really matter and that will last for a long time.
Great. I'm just going to go throw this right in there. There's pressure that comes with what we're doing. There's pressure to look a certain way. Always. Like, we don't care if you're having a bad day. Me, I'm sorry.
Which bad day?
Bad day. Which bad day? I don't care if you had a baby. Me, I don't care. You know? I don't care if you had a baby. Me, I just want. Like a girl who joined 6 years ago is the same one I want here today. So there's that pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle, to maintain a certain body type. And not to eat donuts.
Oh my God.
You know? There's to just like, if sometimes even shaving your hair is such a big deal. You have to think about it. Even getting in with the dreadlocks or trying something different from what people are used to. There's so much pressure. How do you guys deal with that?
Oh wow.
Well, I remember when I had my second born, and I really added a lot of weight, over 100 and I think 150. I was quite big. I didn't have a neck. At least now I have a baby. And
I got my second baby. You're speaking to me. Speak loud.
but I didn't look like you even. I was not even looking like this. And I'm 5 babies now. So
5 on?
Yes.
Whoa!
So, but the thing is,
I tell you.
But the thing is, I remember we went into this meeting, and our boss then talked. Then she turned to me and said, Anne, if you continue like this, we will remove you out of the screen. You understand? And so I was like, what do I do? You see, that's pressure already.
Yes.
And the more...
And this is not even from the fans, this is internal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I had this pressure to lose weight. But no matter what I did, I stopped eating. But I was just adding because there was a lot of pressure. And sadly, I was actually plucked out of the screen for some time, for almost a year. Yeah. So it happens. It happens. But these things, they kind of give you some shock absorbers so that anything that is thrown your way, you are able to. Because me, I knew my dream to become a journalist didn't start when I joined the media. It started when I was young. When I was 10 years old, I used to tell God, I want to be like these people I see. Then it was VOK, KBC.
Yeah.
So I was telling myself, I want to be like this lady so that I can tell the world about stories. So my dream did not end when one particular person decided I was big. So even when they put me aside, I knew that I had to go back. If it's the weight which is making me to be out of the screen, then we will lose it. So the thing is to try to look for what you are, what voice, what do you want to do? Because the screen may not be there, but you still have to remain that person, that voice, that whatever that you want to let out.
Yeah.
And so I found a way to go back on the screen. I went back and I told my boss that, okay, so because the problem is when I'm standing, my kitambi natoka, so why don't I do a show that you can just take a close-up on myself?
Yeah.
And I gave him this idea about our one-on-one we didn't have then on the Kiswahili show. And he was like, yes. So every Friday, I got this show that I used to do.
Oh, wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that when life throws at you lemons, you have to squeeze lemonade out of it.
Absolutely.
Because things will happen.
Yeah.
I mean, today you can be told you're not going to be on that show.
True.
Is it not true? Today you can be told that something has happened.
Yeah.
But then you as a woman, you have to think, how do I move on and still become relevant?
Yeah.
And still be the voice that you want to be in the society. So yes, me, I had that pressure to lose weight. And I think I've always been this big.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
And I think this is one thing that the media people have to understand, or the media managers,
Yeah.
that we don't all of us have to be slim.
No. That's true.
We don't all of us have
That's
to be
true.
slim.
Say it.
I mean, it's also a difference, like in body types. Like there are body types where that person will never be slim.
Yes.
So I think also as women, we kind of have to rise up and
Above
appreciate
that.
above that, appreciate it, and also put that message out there
Yes.
that women are different.
Yes.
It's about your skill set.
Oh yes.
What are you bringing to the table?
Yes.
You're still Anne,
Yes.
regardless of how you
Oh
look.
yes. Yeah.
She
You
got
know?
a show to sit down. She's like,
Yeah.
You will take me from here.
Give me a give me
Close up, a tight one, a tight one. Na tuendelee.
I love what you kept saying about voice.
Yes.
Because you have such clarity
Oh, yes.
that even if that doesn't work, then how do you still bring the voice? But I also like that even when you were off screen completely, when they told you your job is over, you still had your voice. And for you, that's your purpose. And I think that's how it comes to, that we confuse roles with purpose. And I love saying this. We can look at saying why you're not married. Marriage is a role. It's not your purpose.
Hey,
Yeah.
kamera yako.
High five,
Alafu
high five,
weke-
high five.
High five. Na uweke Mwikali hapo mbele.
Next time you see Mwikali, tafadhali.
Yeah.
I want to speak to you right there.
Yes, preach it.
My M-Pesa number, I don't Now, the truth is, as women, and roles are not purpose. The role of being a woman is amazing. The role of being a mother is amazing. The role of being a wife is amazing. But their role is not your purpose.
Absolutely.
That's why if you don't have that husband or child, who are you? Or when that child leaves the nest, who are you? Or when the marriage is not there anymore,
Yeah.
who are
Even
you?
that job is a role.
When the
yes.
job is not there, who are you?
Absolutely.
So and love that you're saying the voice. So what is it for you? For you, is it the dance? Is it the voice? Is it the agenda? Is it the design? Is it the whatever it is? Find your purpose. And purpose is not that big statement. You just wanted to be a voice, a voice, a voice. What is it you really, really want? And find that. Whether you're in media or out of media. And remember, social media now, everyone is a media house. So how do you get your purpose irrespective of the role and irrespective of the season? When the weight comes, that's where I am. And when the weight goes. how do you ensure that you still have your purpose?
Yes.
And I think, as you're saying, life has changed.
Yeah.
People are now more open. But I think if you don't focus on the pressure and focus on being a solution, focus on being a voice, focus on changing someone's life, then that will be good. And I think even as women, we need to take up the responsibility to also push for what is right, for what is beautiful, for what is just, for what is noble, so that there's pressure that comes, because the limelight is a positive and negative. If the limelight is on you, then take up the challenge. It's the same way if someone is a president or a CEO or a mother, there's a limelight on you. But what it makes you do is step up, not make excuses. So may you step up, fall when you fall, rise up, but still uphold your values, live out your purpose, and let not the roles take over. And let not, oh, your weight now, or your marriage now, or all those are important. And like that you're saying, we shall lose it. We shall do whatever you can, but live out your purpose. And your purpose is serving people and loving people and
Faith, I think it's time to write a book now.
I know, right? Thank you,
Should I
Silena.
get your autograph now?
You know, or after the book is out.
I told you, my number is on there.
Opportunity.
It's on the screen right now.
Absolutely.
So what I know is that as long as you're in the media, whatever any woman is going through, what you call the down and the good, just embrace them.
Okay.
It's very painful,
But please.
only that don't give up. You know, usikate tamaa useme, I'm done with this media, I'm done with it, or you go into alcohol, or you go into cigarettes, or you go, just stay put and trust in God to take you through all the up and downs, and you will arrive.
Great.
You know,
Now,
because this thing doesn't end. I told you
it's a
It's
cycle.
a cycle.
It's a cycle.
until the end of your life.
That's true.
Yes.
Because it's not superficial. It comes from, it tugs at your spirit, at your soul.
Yes.
So anyway, just come back. And as we end the show, yeah? So I'd like us to show our human side, right? So those goofs, the one time you go like, oh my God, did I do that on air? And I will start as you guys prepare or remember.
Okay.
My very first time, my career started in radio. So I hope you guys are thinking as you're listening to my story. So I went on air for close to an hour without putting the thingy on, the fader.
Ah.
Yes, so
So
I was
you
just
are-
talking to myself.
How long?
It went on for close to an hour. I had a co-host, so they pick my voice from her mic, but my fader was down the whole time. No, it wasn't down. I was talking into a dead mic.
Oh,
my God.
Yes, my first day on air. So yeah, cool.
I have so many, men. How long do you have?
One, just
I'll
the
say
one.
two. I'll say two.
Okay, two.
One, I actually fell down.
Oh God, I
Cream.
did that as well. I did
You
fall.
fell,
I tripped, and the MD and the CEO, they were right here. It was a live show, and I was like, oh, so who's gonna hold me? This is the MD or the CEO? But then again, yeah.
Me, I fell. Pungulu. Down. I was seeing the show with DJ Mo. Every time I don't see her, she's like, Allah. Thankfully, the camera didn't capture it. I don't know how these guys are on point. So people just hear gudu.
That's the director.
Allah, and then I
Camera two,
think
camera
he
two.
dropped something like, by the way, for you who's watching, in life you can fail. You can fall down. I'm like, dude. So guys didn't know. But yeah, you can imagine everyone back there was like, oh my goodness. And imagine I was pregnant, but they didn't know. It was for the first few months. Okay, or at times you think they don't know, but maybe they do. So that was that. And then the other, my first pregnancy, the second one was easy. I had crazy nausea.
Oh no.
Crazy nausea.
Yeah.
And not nausea, the feeling. I think that's why I lost weight the first one. I used to puke like 7 times a day.
Oh.
The first, but I lost weight.
It doesn't matter how.
The second one I wasn't puking anyway.
You have just done it yourself.
So yeah,
By force.
I should have. You were fitter. Anyway, I had the feeling, but so every show I think I take tropical, yani I'd really shikilia and pray. It was a live show. May this not happen. The drama there.
But I think the first time I went on air was a very long time ago. The very first time I went on air, it was really tough for me. I mean, my heart was beating, my breathing had changed. Even I could hear the director just saying, "And relax," but I can't even remember the intro I did. You know, yes, you're there, you have the auto cue, but you just even don't know what's happening around you, you know, because before I went, I remember my boss told me, just remember that over 5 million people are watching you.
Ooh, pressure. No pressure.
So then I was like, I was all over the place. but I made it. And maybe another one I can say is that there's a time I took 5 minutes into the bulletin, I took some meds. But I hadn't read the instructions were saying that you can't take those meds, you can't take them on an empty stomach. Hey, so 10 minutes into the bulletin, and I remember there was one of the VIPs in Kenya who was coming. I interviewed him. I was sweating like,
wait.
I was sweating. I'm not telling anybody. It's only me. You know, it's happening internally, and I'm praying and I'm telling God, hold me together, because now I think I'll collapse. Goodness. So I don't even know what happened. All of a sudden, I was able, but I was really like sweating. And maybe the last one, light ilianguka kutoka juu.
Whoa!
But just almost like tu karibu kuni. Na nikaendelea tu, nilisikia tu pangala. Even I didn't like.
Like, how are we given that thing for being still? I don't get it. But anyway.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay. I've really tried to think hard.
Microphone?
I've really tried to think hard.
Yeah.
But I think the one which really comes to mind was my first like out of country media assignment, and I was supposed to go and cover this NBA exhibition game in South Africa. So like these NBA players were going to be there, just walking past you. Oh. And for me as a basketball player, these are like the people who are the gods, you know? And I'm supposed to be calm and composed and ask my questions properly. And I did okay. Oh. Until I was told, go and interview that guy. And he was just brought, boom. Wow. This guy, I'm tall. He was tall, of course, basketball player. And he was so good looking.
Oh my God.
And his cologne was amazing.
Wow.
I was lost. I was going.
What question?
Do you know, back the cameraman was like, eventually I just asked the guy, can we please take a picture? We took a picture and that was it. I walked away. I said, that one, I'm not going to start pushing things. We took a picture and I left. I said, let me gather my dignity and just walk away.
We are human people. And thank you guys for coming. Tunapatiana social media kwa sababu ndio biziko.
Yes, lazima. Okay, Faith Muturi Ngoge, Faith Muturi Ngoge. Faith Muturi Ngoge.
Yes, Anjambi Ngugi. Hiya.
Hiya.
Yeah, Anjambi Ngugi, Facebook, and Ngugi, Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Silale, SilaleI. There's only one Silale in the world.
Oh.
Hala.
If you find another one, let me know.
Yes.
So on all platforms, just look for Silale. You'll find me there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
I
love it. The editor just like, we need like 2 hours. Bill had do something. Anywho, it's been lovely. It's been amazing. If you want to changia their story, if you want to tell them or remind them of some of the things that you saw them do on air, KTN Life and Style on Facebook, KTN Life and Style, KTN Life_style on Twitter and Instagram. SMS is 22840. We love you and we're here for you, cause of you. Tupende, jameni. We're taking a very short commercial break. When we come back, we have books and blogs with Catherine.